preparing.
This message is being
Stream.
live streamed.
Oh,
Okay.
wonderful. Wonderful. It seems we're going live. So amazing, amazing. So welcome everyone to this new special meeting. And my name is Fernando Marango Rodriguez, also known as PhD Fernando Coach. I'm just holding the space for this amazing interview to a very, very special person. Let me tell you, everyone here, that I don't say this because, oh, just people pleasing. No, because I felt that from the first time I met her. Her name is Lisa, and she's extraordinary. Welcome here, Lisa.
Thank you. And the same is true of you, Fernando. I get, I can be kind of an emotional person in a good way, not overly, but like to feel people's true essence is part of my journey and my experience, because it helps to brighten their own energy when you look at the true essence of a person rather than all the struggles and all the things that are in their field. And so I do feel that with you too. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Lisa. And for those who don't know Lisa, she has already a very special place, an extraordinary story, and I won't be the person who is going to talk about that. So feel free to move forward and share your story and your mission, Lisa.
Oh gosh, this could go in a lot of directions. So I'm going to start with this. I was born a triplet and was opened early on because I crossed over several times, died several times, came back several times. So there's been an open conduit for me my whole life, and I've had to learn how to navigate that, which has been really difficult at times and incredibly beautiful at other times. And over this period of time, having learned how to harness those abilities in a way to be beneficial for other people has been my own process of growth and learning also. Amongst that, I met someone who purchased some land through an insight that she got. And between now and then, when I met her, I was having insights and information coming in that there was a place that I was meant to be in nature to help build a center for people to come and to connect with their inner spirit, with their own gifts and abilities that are unique to them and to nature itself. So I'm now here in this place, and it's absolutely stunning. It's 240 acres of beautiful land in the Idaho mountains, way up in the mountains. It's so beautiful. I kind of wish I could show you, like take it around and show you. But it's right now I'm in a house and there's a yard behind us, but there is so much land. So next time I'll start posting some more videos on that. This morning I just went out to a stream in an area that we call Fairy Falls and did an offering to the land, rinsed off and everything, and asked for assistance from the beings here that are beneficial and loving to work with us today to do the Akashic Records. For the earth has its own Akashic Records, so we can tap into that. People's personal Akashic Records, their spiritual purpose, but also in order to open up their own connection to source within themselves. So that was my goal. Yeah. So I'm excited to be here and play. Like the inner child is a big part of it, by the way. We need to be playful. Like being too serious can get us stuck in ego. So the joy and the play is a big part of it. So I want to have fun also. Yeah.
Okay, so summarizing, you're having fun helping people reading the Akashic Records, and also holding the space for this physical space for people who want to go there and live a rejuvenation process, right?
Yeah, correct. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How
Yes.
does that rejuvenation process work, or how does it work for those people who are curious about your place? They say, oh, maybe I will look for a place for a retreat, because I do know, for instance, some six-figure entrepreneurs who want to go for a retreat for some place to rejuvenate themselves. So how does it work, please?
Well, it depends on what the person is desiring. So rejuvenation is different for each person. So I would specialize it to them, have a communication about it, and then we can do so many different things. There are sessions that we can do in several different areas for insights and personal growth. There are nature walks that we can do here to connect them a little more. It's more off grid. We have Wi-Fi a little, but there's no cell signal here. So your cell service has to be connected in through the Wi-Fi in order to get it. So that is actually a huge benefit because you come here and you're out of all of that electromagnetic smog. You get right into the earthing. So we know that earthing is a big deal, you know, for shifting our physical, emotional, and mental fields. So people can come here and do what's called forest bathing, nature walks, working with the different elements, and understanding their own guidance is a big part of the rejuvenation, because oftentimes the reason we feel so burnt out is we're missing that piece in connecting to ourselves and our inner spirit.
Absolutely. And do you have any experience of some people who went there feeling in a certain way, and then after a certain time, they left that place feeling differently?
Yes, several people. Yeah, without naming names, some people have written it on my page.
Ah,
They've come up, yeah. There's a labyrinth here that people can walk to go out. There's been some special experiences there. People learn about how nature speaks to them. So sometimes they'll get messages from the birds or the animals that will show up specifically to them to bring a message. And we also have a medicine wheel up here. It's a Celtic version of a medicine wheel that people can work with. Meditation and energy work also is part of it. But people have come up with deep, deep questions about directions to take in their lives. Relationships that feel like they're about to end at times, that come back together afterwards has happened for people. Other situations where it's an unhealthy and that they have the strength to be able to leave in a kind and loving way. People who feel like they were placed clearer on their own soul path, their own life path, where they were able to merge their work life with their soul's deepest desire. So people there with physical ailments that have lifted, they've gotten better. Emotional as well, a lot of emotional stuff that people will kind of have come up and purge and release. And then clarity about what it actually was trying to tell them. Yeah, there's been some good ones, some really good experiences up here.
wonderful. How long does it take this process in order to feel that shift?
I'd say the very least 3 days. It's usually about 3 days. Sometimes longer. People will come up between 3 to 5, sometimes 7 days. We've had some people come and stay for a few weeks. One friend came and stayed. I call them friends. I don't, I love you all. So she came up and stayed for a month and was inside her space for 3 full weeks, shedding all the stuff from her experiences of travels and relationships where she pulled in things empathically, and came out just fully renewed just by being here in her own space. Yeah, so it's different for each person. Usually it's between 3 to 5 days, I'd say.
Yes, as you are speaking, I feel the presence of some guardians there, ancient guardians, and especially indigenous guardians there, big ones that
Yes,
are already in charge of that purification process. Does it make sense?
that's exactly right. Yes. I love that. Yes, yes. They show up as different birds of prey. Here is how they show themselves. The vultures, the eagles, and the hawks, sometimes falcons. and they'll come in at very significant moments. In fact, we had it just the other day, two vultures that came in and created a pattern, but I mean in, as if like down low enough for you to see the pattern in their feathers. It's very clear when they come in. It's not like, oh, there's a bird. It's very clear. And when you're in a state of prayer or meditation or asking something, they'll come in and screech. They'll make a sound and make themselves known. I have another one on video, Fernando. This was the other day. I was going up again towards the Fairy Falls area, and a infant hawk is what I would call it. It's like a young, very young hawk comes out of the barn that we have up there, flies out, and is in stasis over me, doing this with its wings, and then dives, comes back up, does it again, several times in place. I've never seen that before. And it did it a second time the next time I went out there. It's very connected with the guardians. It's like they give their own blessings and cleansings, and they also bring in information. But that one, oh, powerful energy. But yes, you're correct. The first time I came up here, the guardians showed themselves male, female, strong indigenous energy that is connected. They call themselves the ancient ones, who are connected here to the land as guardian spirits. And at the time, I asked them permission, because it's respectful to ask permission anywhere we go. We don't just assume we're connected to land. So asking the guardians permission for me to be there, because I'm so open and connected to the energies. There's all the elemental beings and different spirits that exist here. They opened the doorway for more information to come in as to what we're here to do for the land and for the records. Like we were going to talk about the Akashic Records. There's records in the land here as well, and a lot of trauma. So there's been layers and layers of that trauma that has been working itself out since I've been here. And the guardians have been a part of assisting us with that.
Yeah. Wow. Yes, I remember another moment when my mom was in this dimension, that she received the appearance of a bird that came to her recurrently, and did that movement that you mentioned before.
Yeah.
It came to her and it touched into the window, pa, 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 and then started to move the wings like this, and left. And then it came later, and then again start to fly in that fixed position and touching the screen of the window. And then she discovered that she had a very important message, and she had to find out about a member of her family, a very important, a very close member of her family. So what you say about birds coming to us is when, at least in this case that I mentioned, refers to deliver a very important message. I want to say thank you for saying that, because this is so meaningful, so meaningful.
Thank you. Yeah, they're strongly connected in my experience to the angelic realm. Good energies will come through them as messengers in various forms. Hummingbirds too, all over lately. It's been
yes. And regarding the Akashic record, is what's the relationship with your place and with your mission? Tell me more about that, please.
Well, first, when we first got here in the records, there was a message that it needed to be cleansed here because of the pain of the indigenous people, that there had been wars and suppression in a way that was really stuck in the land. So that was the first part of the records that we looked into and worked on. But also our connections through lifetimes with this area came up to be worked on and cleared as well. And different people who were living on this land, some who had passed away, started to move and get cleared as well. And then, as far as the message from the land, it was wanting to be restored to its original state. So I was taken up to a certain spot in the mountains here and was shown the area there used to be a hot springs, and it looked very similar to some places in Yellowstone National Park. So these areas would fill up with warm water, and they were birthing pools for the native people who existed here at the time. This is way, way back, way back. But they said the land was saying it was looking to be restored to a place where that could be occurring again on the land. So it was looking for the mycelium to be rejuvenated, the clear cut that has happened here in various places to be also rejuvenated. So we've been planting trees and moving out, like we're bringing in mycelium to move out the pesticides and things that had been sprayed on the fields. So now it's the coolest thing, Fernando, because when we first got here, it was cleared in certain areas, and it was just pine trees and a few cedars here and there. No leaf trees, because they'd cleared so much, it made it to where the land wasn't rejuvenating itself because it didn't have what it needed through the microbiome. So since we've been here, oh, gosh, I wish I was out there to show you. I'm going to have to put some videos up on my page. These leaf trees over the last couple of years are popping up everywhere. And new kinds of evergreens are starting to show up on their own because the microbes in the microbiome, the mycelium, are starting to spread more through the land because it's not being suppressed with, digging into it and taking from it. So the goal was to rejuvenate and restore the land, which is why it's called Restoring Balance Sanctuary here.
That's so beautiful. And you could gather that information from the Akashic record readings of that land, right?
Yes. The first part of it was the clearing out of energies that were stuck. And then it was showing what they were originally. And those birthing pools were a big deal. They said that there are flowers here called trillium that they would use in the birthing pools for the natives that would shift the vibration of the water. So it would assist the women when they got in to cleanse and also give birth in a way that was in alignment with the water so that there was less pain, if any at all. And they would be attuned to the land. So when the child was born, it was born into the frequency of the water and the memory that was held within the waters. So they were uploaded with all of that information within their cells when they would be born into that water, rather than disconnected from the earth. So it's a very special place to go up there and feel that. And potentially what they were saying is that when there's earth shifts and when things have been restored here, those hot springs could come back. And you can see where there's minerals in the rocks. Later on, after I kind of looked around, I could see where there's even volcanic rock up there. It's whole layers of volcanic, like pieces of volcanic rock. Yeah, it's been a fascinating journey. Yeah.
Wow, that's really powerful. And how are you already helping other people with their problems? Are you helping them only in your retreats, or are you also helping those people online? And for those who want to move forward further, you invite them to a retreat in your place?
Yes, my favorite thing is one-on-ones because it's more clear and intimate, straight to the point. I have a website called intuitiveilluminations.org, and I've been doing sessions for 17 years now professionally to work with people through their records in various ways to do healing work, really deep ancestral healings and clearings as well. Gosh, there's so many different things. I work with their astrology charts sometimes. It can help people to feel more comfortable to see something. So it gives kind of a buffer. It doesn't feel so, people get nervous sometimes. So to have that makes it kind of fun. You have a visual, but it's also their records. So there's various ways that I do that with them. And healing work, deep trauma healing work to help people
Yes.
move out energies and entities, all kinds of things.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel, let me know if it makes sense to you, that one of your extraordinary talents is showing them the way to their mission.
Spot on. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How does it work? Because many people are asking, I want to get to my mission. I want to know my purpose in life. And they're asking the question so many times for years. But if they have access to you, maybe they can solve that right away. How does it work?
Well, part of it is that connection to their internal self, because the parts of us that are floundering are the ones that have been programmed or conditioned in our experience in society. So we think this is how we should be, and this is what we should do, and here's how we are a competent person or a smart person, or to make the money, whatever the thing is, and it's disconnected from the inner self. So in sessions, I'm working with people to get in touch with their truest essence first and giving them tools. So I don't just do it for them. I don't just say, here's who you are and what your path is. I'll give some of that information and give insights into how they can access it within themselves. And the best way to start is in your heart center, because the heart center, in the very, very center of your heart, is a space called the Holy of Holies. And this space is a sacred space that exists in all of us. And it's non-dual. It doesn't connect to polarities. It's the center that connects the upper energy centers and the lower energy centers. And it's one connection to unity. So when you go into your heart space, you connect there and intend that you're going to go and research your own records. So I'll take people through a process like that to feel their authenticity, because you can get to where you know it, you feel it, you hear it, you sense it. Like you want to have as many of the tactile experiences as possible to feel who you are, to know who you are. And then it's less difficult to be thrown off your path.
Exactly. Because that, according to my own experience, what I see, what I feel with my five senses, is something that I cannot deny. I cannot ignore. And I say, well, this is what it is. When I found my mission, for instance, who I was in previous lives, two shamans already told me that. And then I say, oh, well, the first one I say, okay, is it true? And then the second one who told me the same, I say, oh, this matches the first version. And then I had my own experience and I
Yeah.
saw myself and I felt myself with that. I say, oh gosh, this matches what other two people told me, two other wise people told me. And I say, there's no way I can hide with this. So I have to move forward.
Oh, I love that too, Fernando, because something that has come in many times is once something has been repeated 3 times, you really have the truth anchored in. Like, for instance, if you're asking for a sign, it shows up 3 times, you know it's a sign. Like there's no denying it, right? It's solid. So that's really cool. You had your own confirmation on the 3rd time. Love that.
I didn't
Yeah.
know about the three times, but thank you for saying that. That's really, really powerful, really useful. But if you say that with the five senses, you have five types of confirmation, right?
True. Yes.
5 ways of confirmation, not 3, 5.
And 5 would be even better. Yeah, the more the
Yes,
better.
yes. And would you like to share briefly a story of someone who came to you with a certain issue, and then after they got your help, finally you help them solve their issue?
I think of someone who would be okay with me sharing their story.
No need to say names.
Yes, no names. I wouldn't do that anyway. Let's see. Ah, okay. There's someone who was struggling in her business, felt very scattered and resentful, actually, because she had the experience of being so empathic that she would pull in people's stuff, because in childhood that was the role. So she took on that kind of psychic trash can type of, it sounds terrible, but just like pulling it in and being the dumping ground for people's stuff, and thought that she'd worked through it. Well, when she came in for the session, we found where there were some things in her records from her ancestral line, but also another lifetime with people who she had had an experience with, without going into details there. I don't think she would want me to share that part. We cleared up those records around different types of betrayals, and the idea that she had to make amends was where it was coming from. So she automatically came into her family feeling that it was her job to fix it all, to save everyone, so that she was not using her power in an unhealthy way. So she was going to use her power for service. But then what ended up happening was she kept taking in people's stuff and they didn't change. So she thought, well, why am I doing this? The whole point is for them to change. And what her higher spirit said was that it needs to be a conscious agreement in order for something like that to occur, and that there was no longer a healthy reason for her to keep taking in people's energy. And that had extended into her business, where she was pulling stuff in from all these people. So we cleared all those things up. And what ended up occurring is, behind all of that was her gift of, it was type of shamanic ability, working with the people who had crossed over, and various energies in people's field that wasn't in alignment for them. So what ended up happening, Fernando, is that gift turned on in a more conscious way. And she started doing sessions with people when they came in to see her. And those people started coming in, they were coming in for nurturing, like hair and nails and massages and all that kind of thing. So eventually she had a line of people who were coming in, and at first they didn't know that's why they were there, because the guides were speaking. And then they'd end up in all these conversations, which would move those people forward in their path. So what started to unfold was that in the records, it was for her to be able to do one-on-one sessions with people to assist them in ancestral healing and in their own ability to release what's unhealthy in their field. So and her gifts have just kept going and going and going and going since then. So that's an example. Yeah, it was really fun too to see her just all her psychic abilities open up. Yeah.
That's what we call a quantum shift, right?
Quantum shift, yes. Definitely was a quantum shift. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So just to have a notion for those people who are watching here, for those who are facing certain kind of emotional issue or issue with their works or with their personal professional lives, you help them through a series of how many sessions and how long?
It depends on the person and their situation. Some people, it'll be, they come in yearly. Some people will come in for not once a week. I usually do 2 to 3 weeks between sessions so that the person can integrate and practice whatever came up. So sometimes it'll be at the most 2 to 3 weeks, or every 2 to 3 weeks for a period of time, until it feels like they've really come into their own. And then they'll every once in a while come in, a yearly thing. A lot of people do birthday readings, for renewal, to check in on their life path.
Yes. Amazing. And you have any offer to share with the audience who is watching this and are thinking about, oh, who is Lisa? I would like to know my mission or to solve my issue. What's your offer? You have a special offer?
Yes. So thinking 5 people, the first 5 people that private message me with the word Akashic. It's Akashic. Akashic, by the way, is Sanskrit for ether or space. It's that realm of information, the records that exist within all of us. So if that wasn't clear enough, I want to make sure I got that out there. Yeah. So Akashic, if you message me with that, first 5 people, I'll do a reading. And they usually last between 15 minutes to 30 minutes.
At which cost?
Well, now they're $188 for an hour session if we do an hour. So a half hour is $98.
And for those 5 people who write you, they will have to pay any amount?
No, we'll do free.
Oh, be aware, everyone who is watching here, and run because there is a very good opportunity with this extraordinary healer. Okay.
So
Do you have a final message to share with the audience here for those who are in a doubtful position or thinking about moving forward or not? What's your message?
My main message is when you're living from a space of spirit, in everything you do, your life becomes joyful. Your inner child is lit up. And when you're living from that intuitive self, same thing. And your life purpose will start to unfold naturally. And any way that that can occur for you, go for it, because it is so much fun to live that way. And if I can be of assistance, I'm happy to be. There's also lots of resources that I can give you as well if you're interested in that instead. Yeah.
Amazing. How can they reach out to you?
My Facebook page is Lisa Tenney, or you can go to my website, intuitiveilluminations.org.
Wonderful, Lisa. Thank you so much for this sacred, extraordinary space. I'm very, very blessed by your presence here. And thank you all who are watching this live and replay as well, okay?
Okay.
Have a blessed day, you all.
Thanks, Fernando.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.